Yes. Welcome to the Maych and Pajak podcast. We're doing this live, so everything will be fine. There could possibly be no problems.
We never cut anyway.
Yeah, I know.
We never say anything we regret.
Oh, well, that's definitely not true, but we've never had any problems when we go live with stuff, so I figured it was a rock solid way to present the podcast. We thought we'd try it out. Thanks to everyone who's joined us live for this one. I mean, right now, there's a whole 129 of you watching the podcast, so that's great.
1 or 2 out of 9.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah,
indeed. I just got nervous.
Yeah, no, it's just me and Chris in a room or 2 separate rooms talking about this. So we're going to talk about Liverpool being champions, of course.
Champions of little old England, Paul. Give it its full title.
It's quite. When you think about it, what's the big deal? Being champions of England, we're champions of Europe. I mean, I know England's trying its best to not be that. But we're already champions of England by proxy, by being the reigning champions of Europe. And moreover, Chris, if anyone wants to debate that, because we've technically been knocked out of this year's European Cup, we're reigning champions of the world. So, I mean, it's quite inconsequential.
What was the old
really
thing they used to say about Jordan Henderson and blades of grass?
Covers every blade of grass.
Yeah, now he's just champion of them all.
Champion of every blade of grass. Yeah.
There is no blade of grass on this planet.
Yeah.
That Jordan Henderson is not the champion of.
There's a Lion King meme in that, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Everything the light touches, Simba. Everything the light touches, yeah. Hendo.
Couldn't have asked for a better voiceover artist for him either, could you?
For Mufasa? Yeah, than James L. Jones. No, there's
just no better.
Perfect.
In every way,
what range, considering the man never changes his accent or tone or whatever, that he's perfect for Mufasa and Darth Vader at the same time, is pretty incredible for that. Just how good a man is.
I think what we've realised is that he's just perfect.
He's just a perfect man.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
Okay.
100% get behind that.
Well, are we going to talk about this?
Yeah, no, we know. As if it's planned. As if anything's ever fucking planned. There is, generally speaking, a very loose agenda to what we
The agenda
discussed.
For today's episode, everybody, was we're going to talk about Liverpool being champions of England. That was it.
Yeah, and we said we'll probably just do a bit of life stuff first and
Which
see how we get on with that. But we'll dive into it. Keep your comments and that coming in. If we get some questions, decent questions, we'll answer a few of them at the end, because why not? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do just that. Yes, your life. So I noticed I was we had a day off in midweek, which is fucking weird. I can't vibe with midweek days off. It totally throws me off.
Doesn't feel the same as when we have a Friday off.
No.
Feels like it's close enough to the weekend that it's the weekend.
But it's mad because I could then work a Saturday and it still feel more normal. But it being a Wednesday and being off feels absolutely bizarre. But I was out, took the family to the park, and I was checking Twitter while we were in the queue for an ice cream, and I noticed you getting into some hardcore Twitter beef with the Football Manager scene, the Football Manager streamer scene. I thought I'd throw me all in naturally behind you, because
drop the mic on your way out.
Yeah, exactly. MXP buddies for life. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm quite enjoying this, because we've done the Football Manager stuff on the Red Men, and it's gone swimmingly so far. But you've also tried it on your own Twitch channel, and it's not
going
gone
well. No, it's going really, really well.
Can you just explain to the viewers and listeners the term?
You want me in a bad mood in this stream?
No. But
this is what you're going to get.
But I'll tell you, look, we've got to talk about your life. We can't talk about your life, because if your life's got some... What was the term? I was first introduced to a term by you this morning when you were recounting your tale of being Cardiff City manager, and that was a term coined to describe 2 managers for whom this was likely to be the last game in charge for each of them.
Oh, no, don't. So, right, basically they called it El Sakico. El fucking Sakico. Like, anyone, Ben Hybrid actually wasn't there last night. Tony, I think, was there, and a few others from this stream. Like, they know how annoyed I was. Imagine getting billed as El Sakico. I mean, is there anything more wool than El Sakico?
I think it's great. It's like... you know how people tag gate onto the end of things after Watergate? You know, like, and I like that. I quite.
But now what's going to happen is I'm going to get sacked, and all my viewers who are watching this are going to be going, Sackgate. So you've just started it.
Yeah, but you live for the interaction.
No, I don't. I hate them all.
Hate all interaction. Hate all notifications. You don't mind it in Twitch because you don't get a notification when someone comments.
That's fine.
That's perfect.
It's
for
beautiful.
You.
It's
you
great.
Don't mind. You don't mind people getting involved and trying to interact with you so much. It's the noise that it makes.
Oh God, the noise does me head in.
Yeah.
Just all of them.
Yeah.
I just don't see why everything needs to have a notification.
El Sacico.
El Sacico. And then the thing is, I got FM'd big time in the previous game by Leeds, and anyone will know. I mean, I think it might have been Jith that clipped it up for us. And basically, I mean, you can go and watch it. It's twitch.tv/Mr. Blood Red. There's 2 clips on there of me getting proper FM'd. But back to the story at hand. I want into this Streamer Showdown. They're running scared.
So Streamer Showdown, for those of you not aware of this, is a bunch of the biggest Football Manager streamers on Twitch and YouTube, and they get together and they do like a draft, and then they go head to head in like a competition. It looks incredibly cool. Our good friend James Alcott got involved from the last one, and you're there throwing pebbles at the window.
Absolutely. I tried to play nice last week and basically said,
please be in part of the Streamer Showdown.
And then they didn't. So I'm like, you know what? I'm coming in, dick swinging, baby. You know what I mean? I am windmilling my way into this Streamer Showdown. I'm going to be so loud and abrasive that they cannot ignore me, and that's what I'm about.
It's worked in life.
I know, exactly. So I want in because I think it's the coolest thing going at the moment. As far as Footy Manager content after Redmen, obviously, it is the coolest thing going, because what's great about it is the fact that there's a draft, that you're getting loads of people who are into the content, and you get to showcase yourself to somebody else's audience, which is fantastic. Yeah. And I've been enjoying watching it, and I was like, I want to be a part of this, and I can stand around waiting for them to take notice of me, or I can go in swinging. I'm going in swinging, and the fact is, they are the established elite. They are running scared of me. I know this, Benji. You know this, Benji. So if you want to prove that you're not running scared, there's only one thing you can do, and that is let me in and watch me win.
Who's there? Pajak, and he's coming in and he's kicking your faces in. Right, everyone, actually, let's get behind Team Pajak on this. I want everyone to tweet at Dr. Benji and say at Dr. Benji fears at Mr. Blood Red. Hashtag FM Streamer Showdown. Is that the hashtag? At FM Streamer Showdown. At Dr. Benji, which is the word Dr. Benji, BNJY, fears at Mr. Blood Red on Twitter. Everyone do it right now, and let's see if we can get a little bit of an MXP wave of for Chris to crest all over. It would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, funny. It's boss. I love the idea. I love the whole concept.
So this thing, I messaged Benji, dropping the act for a minute here, and said, like, I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely superb. Like, I want in, and he didn't message me back. So that's why we're going back this way.
Pulling it back up again, pulling the fucking shutters back up again, the war shutters. Let's fucking kick the fucking doors into the FM Streamer Showdown and get me man there on side. Yeah, great. As we've been in general, then
it's been great.
We were trying to think of what we were going to talk about on this podcast, and because of the footy coming back and it coming back in such a big way, I haven't really thought about, like, there's been loads of stuff that's been going on. Obviously, we had that spell before the footy came back where we covered all the big political topics and all this kind of stuff. I have some of it I've switched off to a lot of it because there's just so much misery around it. One thing I thought was mad, and it slipped under a lot of radars because there's so many things going on at the moment, was MPs taking to copy and pasting, Conservative MPs copying and pasting their joy that they've ended freedom of movement in Europe. Sorry, fucking well done, you gang of actual pricks. I still, this is the thing that's always gotten me about it, and often I think in life it's always worth asking the question. I'll take a lot of people at face value on what they say, and I think there's always a value to be able to listen to people and hear what they're saying. But when it comes to politics, the real questions and the real things you should be listening to is what's not being said. And it's all well and good, the notion, because I think it's a very sellable notion to a lot of people in this country, this idea of, like, people coming in from outside and they took our jobs. You know, that, like, that's a real touch point for people.
It's also not true.
It's also horseshit, but it's what we're not getting on the other side of it. For the average person, the idea of having to go back to mad immigration queues and having to fill in loads of mad little forms and all that kind of stuff. I remember speaking to my father-in-law's friends about this, and he was like, "Oh well, we used to do it back in the day, so fine." It's like, yeah, but we used to do a lot of things back in the day. We used to wear seatbelts in cars. All right. Well, yeah, I know you didn't die and it wasn't a problem for you, but some things are just have sensibly moved on for a reason. And in pushing this forward, this again slightly false notion of this, it's going to fix the economy all of a sudden.
Yeah, you carry on talking. I'm just going to be fun.
It's a massive crock of shit. But yeah, that's the thing that really winds me up about it, and it's really annoying me because there's so many big things happening. People are still dealing with COVID. You've got the Black Lives Matter movement. You've got football coming back. You've got political scandals still ongoing. You've got things like, and you've just got, like, in America, you've got people protesting that they don't want to wear masks still, and getting more and more loud and noisy with that, as though it's a stripping of their civil liberties and not something designed to make their lives a touch safer and the lives of the people around them as well. And this is it happened and it passed on. We've now. It's been another anniversary since the Brexit vote, and we're still in this. And I've forgotten how angry I am with the whole thing, and it just stayed up. And so I'm talking about it. It's obviously crept in there, but I always talk about social media just being a portal to misery. It's a device that you pick up. The joy of all Liverpool winning the league stuff has now slowly started to ebb away and be replaced with all the fucking horrible shit that's going on again.
Well, yeah, I mean, just to go back to something that you said, it sparked something in me. I was like, did anybody see that tweet the other day where a fellow was talking about a conversation he's had with a British couple who holiday near him and next door to him? Did you see this? It went massive. It had like 50,000 likes when I've seen it. The tweet actually disappeared now, but because I've looked at his entire thread, I've still got it all here. So just had a conversation with a British couple who have a holiday home near us. They voted for Brexit, have made no arrangements whatsoever for what happens on January the 1st. They've now discovered the reality of the situation. The blame apparently is with Brussels. He's not going to be pushed around by Brussels, and he's spoken to his friends at work who all agree with him, Paul. Seems this is the EU bullying his parents and being vindictive towards British people because they are jealous of Brexit. My only reply was, well, okay then. Received a largely incoherent message from the idiot son via WhatsApp. Says that my wife and I are part of the problem. Wants to know what we are doing to help. Should have warned his parents. Farage was right. Not sure what about. Something about the war, the empire, etc, etc. Latest development. The wife called my wife again. More tears. Seems the idiot son's been shouting at his work about this and has been sent home to cool off. Meanwhile, they've made the decision to sell the house and have asked if we could help with viewings. We've said yes. Oh Christ, another call, this time from the son. He's decided to come over next week and sort this all out with the mayor. I tried to explain it's nothing to do with our mayor and this is down to the UK leaving the EU. He said he didn't vote for Brexit to have this. I said he needs to take the time to understand what Brexit means, but he will not listen. I told him he will need to wear a mask when he's here. Surprise, surprise, he says, I don't believe in them. I doubt he can get a channel crossing, so he probably won't be able to make it anyway. Anyway, away from Brexit related posts, we now have 2 dogs swimming up and down our pool. Only one is ours. I think he's invited a friend over for the day. Dog update, our visitors remain for afternoon teas, currently half in, half out of the water. Basically, this is the thing. Well, this is the thing that's happening all up and down the country. Yeah. People didn't know what they were voting for. Mm-hmm. So even people with holiday homes in Europe haven't got on to the fact that it's not going to be that easy to get there.
Just to clarify, there's loads of people who did know what they were voting for. And those people are absolutely firmly entitled, and I hope they enjoy the whole experience, because that's what they've definitely known, they've definitely bought in, they've known 100% of what's happened or whatever. But it's mad because you're right, the levels of idiocy and what people are missing out on and all that kind of stuff. It's a celebration of me losing rights, is what it is what they're doing by celebrating the lack of the end of freedom of movement, making it harder for me to go and work in other countries should I so desire. They're taking something away from us, and I guess
that we were born with.
No, true, exactly. And there'll be tons of people, and I guess this is the problem. The people who feel most afflicted by something, whether it's real or just a fearful concept made up to keep people in the place or whatever, they're the kind of people who wouldn't ever think that it's a possibility of working. They wouldn't want to go and work in Europe. They wouldn't want to go and the kind of people who literally use their passports to go on lads' holidays or to go to stock very, very British experience things. Costa Brava, not wrong with Costa Brava, by the way. I've been to Costa Brava plenty of times. I've been to Mallorca plenty of times. Fine places to go, but the places where you go where you get where you can still buy Heinz beans and get mushy peas on your brekkie in a fucking cafe that's got like the Princess Diana cafe in somewhere sunnier. And that's all they use it for, so it's probably no big deal. None of this is any real great deal for them, but for the vast majority of people. And this notion of like, you've got only skilled people allowed to come in, again, it's fucking complete and utter bollocks, because and I get it, but it becomes a blanket solution to a much more nuanced problem, because for every person who comes in who is just a drain on the welfare state, and I'm not saying, again, there's problems, will be problems, every country will have issues in that regard, it's the people who come in because they want to better themselves, and people come in and they educate themselves and they train and they become incredibly skilled human beings, particularly people working in and around the NHS and what have you.
Well, even on the most basic, and I've said this to you over the years and stuff, thanks for the comments. We will get to some of the comments, certainly the super chats and stuff as well that have been coming in, thank you. I've said to you for years, you know, I used to run restaurants and stuff like that, and over a 7-year period where I was managing the tavern, we had one lad who came in who was English, who wanted to do the dishes. Like, it was called a kitchen porter job. It's hard. Actually, Tom as well, thinking about 2 lads. Tom did it there. It's a difficult job. It's tiring, it's physical, it's long hours, and for the most part, no English person wants to do that job. Like, even the people who were 16, like when I was 16, I went straight, actually I was 15, went straight into restaurants, and everybody in that restaurant was English. They were 15 or 16 years old, 16, they were all 16, and they did the dishes there, and they did it until they were 18 or whatever. 16-year-olds now don't even want to do those jobs anymore, and it was like, literally, mechanical engineers who were Polish, who were coming in and doing that job, who were so overqualified but couldn't get another one because of institutionalized racism in other forms than just colour. And so you've got this entire unskilled job market that needs filling.
Yeah.
So even if you just say just the skilled people come in, half the restaurants in the country won't be able to have people to do the dishes. From my experience.
What this is all gambled on is that people will have no choice but to take those jobs, because that's how conservatives think. Because, and look, again, there's always fundamentals to these things, which are, again, as a top line notion, I got no problem with that. You know, teaching a bunch of lazy British teenagers some gumption by making them go out and do a load of shitty jobs is fine, is absolutely fine. And if it works out that way, great. You know, and it's gonna have to, basically, you know, to be clear on it. So maybe it will all work itself out. But the thing that gets me on it again is that it's what's not being said, and the government aren't making fucking bright graphics to share the fact that now, you know, if you want to go and work abroad, if you want to go and work in Europe, you're going to need a work permit, or you're only going to be able to go into different European countries for X amount of days in a certain amount of per year or whatever. You can't just go and live somewhere anymore, and you know, and that's. Yeah, and it's a fucking damn shame, because what's really annoying about it is how many of these, and I'll call them it, cunts, have either got dual nationality, Farage for being the fucking prime example of it, King Dingaling cunt number one, or they've got other premises, or they've got business interests out in other. They are insulated against these things, and they fly the flag of a cause that they are not 100% bought into, and the disingenuity of it, if that's even the right way to say that word, is what I find most enraging about the whole thing. Because again, I don't mind if they're
getting the best of both worlds.
No, but it's because if someone comes up out of the fucking slums and fucking makes something of themselves, and they've lived it, and they've lived and breathed the hardships of what it's been to start from the bottom in this country and have to deal with all the purported problems that we're being told there are with Johnny Foreigner coming in. If you've lived that and you've genuinely experienced that, and then you come up and you step to the forefront of this cause, then I've got respect for someone that way, because I still think they're wrong, but that I can't compare. They've got the experience that sells them that. It's just a bunch of fucking multi-millionaires cashing in on a depth of ill feeling that's probably misplaced, because they've been led down a garden path down some way, because it's making someone else money. And it's complete and utter poppycock.
It's true.
Yeah,
Shout out Stuart Lunt as well, who worked as a KP with me when we were 16 years old. He's in the comments section right now, which is cool.
Thanks for TF420 for the super chat there. Had a genuine cob on until I saw you lads were going live. Up the mighty Reds, champions of absolutely everything. A lot of silverware coming. Indeed. Let's talk about it then, Chris.
What?
Champions of the world.
Yes.
Still technically reigning champions of Europe. And now champions of England.
It's a beautiful thing, Paul. It's just a beautiful thing.
It's absolutely delicious. And I'll be honest, like, I had me little moment on the night, and it was all just great, and I was just caught up in the whole thing. And then I went home the night and had a few bevies, and I was watching Sky Sports and seeing like the emotional outpourings from like Jürgen and Jordan Henderson, all that really, like, it got me. And I've not had a proper cry. I come close with that Bleacher Report cartoon of like the guy and his dad, and then the dad dies, and then he puts the daughter on his shoulders. I had a little like a very brief little like like sob to that. But that's because I don't think it's hit me yet properly, because until I think there's going to be a release that comes with seeing Jordan Henderson lift that trophy, for me anyway.
I think for me it's going to be the first You'll Never Walk Alone in Anfield. I think that's where it hits me, because that song always gets me. Yeah. And those words, man, those lyrics, they just mean something to all of us, don't they? Mm-hmm. And I get like really just het up and tense and emotional during that song anyway. So I imagine for me it's going to be that one. Like, the trophy's going to be unbelievable and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, I think it's You'll Never Walk Alone in Anfield. That's the one that I'm waiting for most of all. And I wonder whether it was different for us because we didn't have the sound on that television the other night. Yeah. You know, I wonder whether I'd have just felt slightly differently. Like,
hearing Martin Tyler say Liverpool are the champions,
or
that
even
kind of
like,
stuff.
you know, from what I could gather on Twitter, correct me if I'm wrong here in the comments, by the way, everybody, or after the fact, tweet me at Mr. Blood Red or at Maych Pajak. But like that You'll Never Walk Alone before the game at Anfield, like that would have been a big moment that we didn't get to hear the You'll Never Walk Alone for, like the first one when we were there, and we weren't there. Liverpool were playing, but we went there. So I think I've lost something for missing out on that. So that's why I think that's going to hit me more than anything. But I was the same as you. I was very, very close to tears during that Bleacher Report video. The bar stewards.
I need to see it, and this is the good thing. We did this on, I think it was on the Redmen podcast this week, and the beauty of how it's kind of worked out is, obviously we're doing this just before the Liverpool Man City game, so a lot of people will be watching this after the fact and don't know the results and what have you. But if Liverpool actually get the result in that, you get that celebration, because that for me is like a big full stop or exclamation point on it, because just being able to do it and then go out and beat the now former holders makes a big point. You know that the Liverpool's nearest and biggest rivals, and likely to be for the coming years as well. There's having that, and then there's like 6 more games of football at some point, and that they're going to do the trophy lift as well. So there's going to be that, and then at some point, probably before mid-September, it might even be at the end of the month, there's going to be some form of proper celebration where people are allowed to gather for it as well. And then there'll probably be when the season then eventually comes back, there'll be a moment where there might even be a moment where we might be able to get in with Jürgen at some point between now and then as well. So there's just all these like it's going to be, in some regards, part of me was like, it is a bit of an anticlimax to not be there for the moment and not be able to be in the ground, but we're actually getting nothing like that one individual high, but we're going to get a series of interesting and different highs before eventually another one down the line.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And maybe they won't add up to what we would have got, and that release and that outpouring of emotion, because I'm pretty sure if you're in the ground, everywhere you would have looked, there'd have been someone crying their eyes out or something, and so that would probably have all set us all off, won't it? But yeah, those individual things, I mean, for me, I can't get over the fact that we got to watch Liverpool win the league with 20,000 people. Like, and for me, that was massive, because I didn't expect anything like that. Because one of the things that I love about doing Redmen more than most is after those big games, I know you love this too, the feeling in the air at Anfield is one thing, but the feeling around us when we're doing fan cams after big results is something that I find it's not replicated anywhere else in my life, nor has it ever been in my life before we started doing Redmen and people cared. So that I'm missing out on that. It was always part of one of the reasons I wanted Liverpool to win the league at Anfield with us there, obviously, was because we got to experience that in the stadium, and then we'd have got to go outside. To everybody who stands there, rain, sun, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I got to kind of replicate that with the comments section the other day, and it affected me more than I thought it would.
It's really interesting because I'm going back through the comments on the videos this season for this season's book, and it's actually because I was on holiday for the Arsenal 5-5 League Cup game, and you were outside, and there's loads of comments of people saying like, this is better than the game itself, because it's just you and a gang of people outside Anfield just singing, spontaneously bursting into song and doing all that kind of stuff. And you're right, because I'm like quite an emotional person, but when I don't get as lost in it anymore, because it's my job, and I feel a degree of professionalism in it, so much that I cut myself off to a lot of the emotion of what we're doing, because I've not, I always say, like, the Madrid being the perfect example of it. I'd not worked for 10 years to not be able to not capture those moments, you know what I mean, to not be able to film the bits and pieces, because that's what I'm into it for. So like I do struggle to lose myself in it. But that being said, and I've said this all year long, I actually got more out of that minute and a half when Liverpool were mathematically on top of the league in the last game of the season last year than I actually got out of the Champions League final, because there was just something about, I don't know, that's been the holy grail, that's been a big thing for me, and that was just a completely unique experience, to be in my seat in the Kop, surrounded, and the noise and feel, the bubbling up and all that kind of stuff. It was a completely experience unlike anything I've ever felt before. So yeah, I'm trying to grab bits of that from sort of elsewhere to kind of fill it up, but I can't wait. Like and that's for me what it is. It's always had multiple layers to it. I love it as a fan, but I love it as a what I am, a content producer as well, because I've Chris, it was pointed out, it's 10 years since Roy Hodgson got the Liverpool job. 10 years, and that's to a lot of people who'll be watching and listening, that's a fucking load of time. And 10 years is quite a long time, but once you're already an adult, 10 years isn't a very long time when you actually live it, which is terrifying as well. It's mad to think about that, like that Roy Hodgson being in charge doesn't feel 10 years ago to me, and then to look at the rise and look what we've been through in that time, and to be making when we were making videos in the back room of ours and ripping Roy Hodgson and making Hodgson for England t-shirts and fucking showing them on the camera, to actually being able to celebrate a fucking Premier League title.
We're actually making like those t-shirts were a laugh for us that we ironed on.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually making fucking t-shirts now, like this one, you know what I mean? Like, actual fucking Premier League winning merchandise. Yeah. I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it? Yeah. And then, even if you'd have said at the back end, well look, you was live streaming, maybe one of the last live stream games we did, actually, prior to lockdown, for that Stoke game. Yeah. You know, Steven Gerrard's last game, we got beaten 6-1. I missed it, thankfully. Yeah. You know, then would you think in a few years' time we'll be live streaming Liverpool winning the Premier League title? You were outside Anfield with Tom, weren't you? You know, at the Echo Arena, you were outside of that. What I've seen those videos back, and you don't believe that we're ever going to get there.
That weekend's mad, because I gave up on a family holiday. I joined a family holiday 3 days late, because we had the last game of the season to play, and was the 10-year anniversary of Istanbul at the Echo Arena. So I like put me Jack and Charlie on a plane and sent them off, and then went to work and did those things. And what did I get for that? I got to watch Liverpool get fucking dicked everywhere by Stoke City. Gerrard scored his last of goal in one of the most embarrassing games Liverpool have ever been involved in. Go and cry my eyes out at the Echo Arena, because you're right. All I said, there was no way in any way, shape or form that I feel that Liverpool were ever going to come close to replicating that, because we've just been fucking battered by Stoke. Like, Brendan Rodgers was done, and we all knew he was done. We didn't necessarily vocalise it, but we all knew Brendan Rodgers was done. We all knew that team was going absolutely nowhere, and it had been pretty crap all season long. to fast forward, and as I say, it goes in the blink of an eye. So that doesn't, most memories are still there. That doesn't feel like we've been, you forget the journey that you've been on. It's insane that the world that we now inhabit.
Like, look, take yourself back 14 months. 14 months was, these are perennial losers. They'll never get over the line with anything. They can't win a final. Just over a year. Just over a year ago, that's what we were talking about with this Liverpool side. This Liverpool side, a year ago, people were saying bottlers about them. They've won the World Club Cup, the European Super Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League in that last 13 months, 14 months. They're not perennial losers.
I remember saying in Kiev, and that was like the one thing I remember about my post-match video on that was like, Liverpool need to stop inventing new ways to break our hearts, because there was no way.
They just ran out of options.
No, there was
exactly.
Your goalkeeper literally throwing one in off the leg of a centre forward against one of the best teams in the world was probably it. That probably broke everything. Or Bruce Grabler urinating on goalposts, if that's to be believed. But it's mad. It's to be. Then you're right, because again, funny enough, because it got right in the books. Doing last year's one was an absolute fucking nightmare. It was horrible. I had to trudge. Felt like trudging through filth and muck and dirt and human feces to try and pull the comments and opinions out on game by game. I was talking to my dad about this. There was a point in like October, November last season where we drew with Napoli and Man City back to back. The Mahrez misses the penalty, doesn't he? Right at the end, and everyone was like, "Well, Liverpool have fucked it. Liverpool have fucked the entire season. It's entirely gone. It's entirely done." And it was all like all the negativity, all like we need a Nabil Fekir, and Buvac is gone, and he was the guy who was really the brains behind all of Klopp's operation, and everything's fucked, and we had all of that, and then we got to the end of the season, and I remember saying about like about Kiev and about the Europa League is that second we won in Madrid, it made all of that stuff a part of the journey.
Yeah, well, that's it. When the season when we challenged with Rafa, forget the 2005 European Cup. It was all about, and before we finish second, so that when we're at the top, he's finished fourth, he's finished third, he's finished second. There's only one place to go. Because we'd been hurt by that, we could see all the steps that we'd climbed. We could see how far we'd come, but we just didn't believe that we were going to be able to do the last part of it. From even some of this squad, I think Kendo was there with the Capital One Cup against Manchester City. Then you've got Basel. Then you've got your Kiev. Then you've got Madrid. Now you've got the Premier League on top. I mean, what else is there? There's nothing else. There's nothing else. We're going to be getting sent up in someone's fucking rocket to go and take on a team from somewhere else. Because there's nothing else here for us to conquer right now.
No, it's true. It's true. But that's the thing. And it got me thinking, because we've all watched The Last Dance right now. No spoilers, but it was because it was a historical thing.
20 years ago. If you don't know the answers now.
But what's left for Liverpool now is to establish itself as one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. It's to do it again. Go again. It's to guard against complacency. It's not to be. We've reached the top, and Klopp said it. It's not about if you think you've gotten to the top of the mountain, then you're on your way back. You're on your way back down again. And it's a great quote that everyone was spamming all over social media this week about, like, we're not going to defend the title. We're going to fight for the next one instead. And that's what it's about. When you hear like Michael Jordan talk about wanting to come back and defend his crown. Now we're left in a world where we're just hoping that the players we've got are those kind of people who see it as a personal affront that anyone else would want their trophies from them.
I think there's two ways that a team can go about staying at the top. And I think Klopp's picked the right one for Liverpool, and that is that going on the attack mode and attacking the next title. Because the fact is, when you're a team like Bayern Munich, you can when you climb that mountain, you can build a fort at the top and defend it. And what they do is they just pick off the best players of all the teams in the league around them because they've got the money to do it. That's them building their fort with the high ground and a fucking moat or whatever it is, and making sure that you can't get in here. I'm going to be all right. Liverpool don't have that because we don't have the money to be able to do that. And we probably still, even now, don't quite have the pull to be able to take a Manchester City player for all the trophies that we've won. Because for the last 10 years, they them and Chelsea have been the two most dominant teams, trophies-wise, I guess. Yeah. And then it would be your Liverpool, maybe now, actually thinking about it. So Liverpool have got to go and attack each and every one. But you know that what got them there is the exact right mentality to keep them there.
Yeah.
Because these lads, the way that they fought for every inch, for every fucking yard, for every... I'm not even going to try and continue that one because I've forgotten all the words. But that's what got them there, and they're going to continue to be there because of all of that.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's very interesting to see what happens now. Because again, I think we're still all mentally conditioned to wait for when's the other shoe going to drop. You know what I mean? Like I did, what's going to go wrong? And I think you've got the fear mongering around the transfer window, and you've got Timo Werner, and you've got all these kind of things, and people go, we're not building from a position of strength, etc, etc, etc.
But once again, sorry to interrupt, once again, the one thing that we as fans, and I don't often speak for everybody because I think it's stupid. I'm going to try and speak collectively. Our failing as fans are always to think that players can't improve.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that every single one of us pretty much across the board forgets every single time we talk about transfers. Like, why can't Henderson improve? He did this season compared to last season. Why can't he do it again?
Yeah.
You know, why can't Alisson get better? Yeah. Why can't Van Dijk get better? These lads are on a consistent trajectory, and yet all of a sudden we think they're going to plateau, and that's not necessarily the case.
Well, this is the point.
It's hard to keep improving.
Liverpool's three best players, you'd argue. Let's just say three best players. The front three. You know, like, you know, in terms of what put the finishing touches, and you could argue just as easily it's actually the fullbacks and the centre half, or you could argue it's the goalkeeper, the centre half, and the defensive midfielder. Whatever. The point is that when I look at, like, I compare us to Barcelona. And those great Barcelona sides under Pep Guardiola, etc., etc. And the greatest trick that Liverpool have pulled so far is in keeping that team together, is keeping those players motivated financially, keeping them from having their heads turned, because that's where it goes wrong. And that's where Barcelona don't have these problems, and Liverpool shouldn't, because provided you can make sure that players are rewarded, they've got the right amount of financial reward, their families are happy, and they are
big shiny silver things on the side.
Exactly, and they are competing for the biggest trophies and personal honours along the way. What's the difference? You're only then you're splitting hairs between, like, climate a lot of the time, or maybe a little bit of lifestyle and what have you. You know, and that's what Liverpool have done in there is like, you know, our front three are all 28. So this time next year they'll all be 29. They're in the prime of their careers,
and the prime's extended.
Yeah, exactly. And the point, and it has been extended by the fact that they haven't been in strong physical contact with people for 3 months, which never happens. So that I wouldn't shock me if something had been put back into them by not having to be battered from pillar to post for that amount of time, which is true about all footballers in this period, by the way. But just for the sake of this discussion. Like, Sergio Aguero's 31 now, and yeah, he's had his injury problems, but he's still when he plays, he still bangs them in. Okay. We are in a position where in 3 years' time, or 2 years' time, they'll be 30. Okay, and 2 years from now, there's 2 more league titles that could be won from now, and our best players still aren't necessarily even on their way down yet. Notwithstanding picking up random injuries, which can obviously deviate the course of a career completely. They can. But Liverpool are in. Yes, they do need to bolster, but we do. And Klopp's been keen to say this. This is still the start. He considers this like the second season of this team. There could be 5 seasons of this team quite easily, because no one's turning around and looking at people. Maybe have said Suarez is on his way down, and maybe Messi's on his way down. Well, Messi's a fucking alien, so you know, not as tangibly. But Barcelona are still fucking amazing. Barcelona are still challenging in the Champions League. Barcelona are still challenging for their domestic league. In that time, we could have easily 3 more seasons without needing major surgery to this team, and could win another European Cup and a couple of Premier Leagues in that time.
And that's the thing. And the mad thing for me, just to go back to a point that you made there, is something I agree with, is this extending their prime. You know, I remember talking to Matt Ladston about this. We were just having a chat on the phone. It wasn't on a show or anything like that, and it was something that he was telling me about. But then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and I was like, "That's great." Think about the timing of it, right? Now, let's say you've got a young side. Let's say you've got a Chelsea side, right? I'd rather have my players in the prime when they have this break than a young side who actually need the developmental games. Having a break at that stage of your career when everyone's 23, 22, 21, I think that's actually You've almost paused everything with what we've got as an extension of their prime for not having these things. So Bobby, Mane, everything else, but the money that they're on is the problem for Liverpool.
Yeah,
because they've been so well run, because we've got everybody on these long-term contracts. That's why we're going to struggle in the transfer market over the next year, because we're paying top dollar, because we're successful, because we've been built the right way. Unfortunately, it's just been really poorly timed for us from a financial point of view, because we're handing out these huge bonuses to players. And it was the right thing to do, but we're handing out these huge bonuses to players who've just won the Premier League when they're not getting gate receipts. Yeah. That's the difficult thing that we've got, and we've got to overcome. But fortunately, there isn't a team in Europe who would swap positions with us. For all the faults that we can see right now, and not having the money to go and strengthen your squad is one. I bet you if you ask Manchester United where they'd rather be, they'd rather be in Liverpool's position. Chelsea would rather be in Liverpool's position. Barcelona would probably rather be in Liverpool's position right now than any other team.
Liverpool's thing is that, and why, look, it might have a knock-on impact to the following season if not getting someone now because you haven't had the time to bring someone in. The teams that are challenging Liverpool need to go out and need to improve their first teams. They need to. They've got to, because their first teams aren't good enough to do.
Who do Liverpool buy? Where do we need someone?
Exactly that. Liverpool don't need any more first team players. They actually need more depth. They need a couple of players to bolster, maybe challenge, and that can have we've seen Naby Keita should have been a first team player, and if he hasn't been, but he's made Gini Wijnaldum better, and Oxlade-Chamberlain's made Jordan Henderson better, and same with Fabinho, etc. But that's the thing about Liverpool right now. There's no one in world football that we could have afforded to buy anyway, really, who comes in who's better than Sadio Mane or Mo Salah, and who does the job as well as Roberto Firmino. You can't get better than Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker. You can't really get better than the fullbacks. You can make a case for improving upon the midfield, but again, I
thought we were past that now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too. But that's the thing. Whereas Manchester City have got to go out and they've got to go and buy. They need another world class or world class in potential centre half to partner Laporte. Do they still need a left back? I'm not seeing Mendy's particularly set the world alight since he's come back from his injuries. They're still using Zinchenko quite regularly in there. Rodrigo will be more established and he'll be better next season, certainly. Gabriel Jesus still needs to settle in. But Sergio Aguero, are you ever going to get a full season out of him? Who's to say? Sané's gone, so they need to go and replace Leroy Sané, because not having him this season has been a big detriment to them. Manchester United, they're still going to need more players. They need better centre halves. They're going to need a better goalkeeper at some point down the line. Chelsea need to buy a defence. Arsenal are fucking shambles. So Liverpool actually don't need. There's not a glaring hole in what Liverpool do.
The only one that I can see, and I've just seen Dr. Benji's turned up in the chat, which is nice to see. Pull them over to a live. Go back and watch the beginning, mate.
Chris has called it out.
Big time, I can't believe you've actually come over. That's brilliant. Well done, everybody in the chat, for getting him over here. That is absolutely fantastic work. Let's take a little break from this. I'm sure you'll enjoy the Liverpool chat anyway, Benji. Oi, Pajak, listen up. You are nothing, I tell you. And then he's ran out of words. Is that it? Is that all you've got? Is that it? Come on, man. Yeah, man. Oh, I am live. He's live. You're live as well.
Oh, well played.
Oh, well played, mate. Yeah. And I am sick of it. This is brilliant.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's got to get his words in now, because unfortunately all there is his words at the moment. Eventually it's going to be down to actions, and the action is whether Benji's got the bottle to let Chris into the Football Manager streamer showdown and put his reputation on the line. I mean, look.
What reputation?
Ben, just do it.
He hasn't won one, has he?
No, but the point is, Ben, just do it, because Chris is shit at Football Manager, it'll be fine. But think about the story. Right, Super Chats, thanks so much to Mike Brown and Stephen Somerville. Asked, will there be a Redmen documentary on the season? There will be.
Wait, Benji, before you go, will you jump in Redmen's Footy Manager stream on Tuesday with us, 3 o'clock? Let us know. Yeah, not now. Probably not now.
Yes, you were saying?
You got no idea what I was saying. Yeah. Benji's got me all riled up now, you know what I mean? No,
he's done. He's coming.
It's all love. Yeah. It's all love. He knows he's still running scared, so I haven't got the invite. He's still running scared. But please come and do the Red Band stream with us on Tuesday, because Paul's away.
He's busy being the most successful English-speaking streamer on the planet, is that right?
Oh, interesting. What way are we talking about? Liverpool?
And look, again, what I was saying certainly before that was that Liverpool don't need to go out and perform the major surgery on the squad. Everyone's playing catch up.
Sorry, yeah. There is one place that it was brought to my attention. So I was live on 5 Live on Sunday, doing the squad, and David Maddock was listening to it, and so I went like, we need a backup left back. I think we still need someone for the forward 3 players, whatever, blah blah blah. And he's literally texting me going, "We need a backup for Alisson. We need a backup for Alisson because he hasn't sneaky. He's had a couple of injuries now. Now you know." Adrian's not good enough, unfortunately, and he's been brilliant for us, but he is what he is. He was a stopgap number 2 goalkeeper. So I do think we probably need, not like a want, I think we actually do need a good backup goalkeeper.
Karius.
We're sat here as Premier League champions, world champions, European champions, and I'm saying we need a backup goalie. Fucking hell.
Yeah, we've managed to achieve.
Hell.
So yeah. No, it's right to put that. You're right. There's defo, but this is the point, isn't it? And we might not be able to, and we might have to make do amend, as it were. But I'd rather be in this situation where you're making do amend with a squad that's just done all those things and can bring through. So if it has to be Caoimhin Kelleher, I don't really want it to be, because I think he's still a bit young for it. But in terms of the environment that Klopp's fostered, in and around the club, there's no better place to come through. Because if you're good enough, you'll make it. Is the point? If you've got the right attitude to survive in that squad, then you'll probably be good enough to get a tune out of it. It's true of all the youth players as well. And I was saying this on somewhere. You look at like this perfect storm. This Chelsea side, I really like this Chelsea side, and I really like so many players in it, and I quite like Frank Lampard as well. Whisper it. But it's only there by accident, and that accident is, well, not really. It's there because they got caught tapping up or whatever it was. So that they get the transfer ban, and they've got no choice but to go to the things that they've been stockpiling for years. And lo and behold, they've actually got some real talent in there, and it's the first time they've had no choice but to throw it out there and get bought into it, and it's worked for them. Now they get the opportunity to add in your ZX and etc. etc. It just might be the thing for Liverpool. We'll never know. But if it means that Brewster doesn't get another loan next season and instead he gets game time, or if it means that Kelleher gets 5 games and all of a sudden that's what he needed, and we won't know any of this stuff until further down the line, but it might just be a situation where Liverpool, I'm saying, I don't know, it's just speculating on the side of the positive, as I always will do. But if you had to, the worst case scenario is that we can't buy anyone. Well, we're in the best possible case scenario for the worst case scenario, because of who we are and where we are and the team and the structure, that everything's in place. So it's probably going to be fine.
It's great, mate. It's great.
Absolutely.
Ooh. Well, that was brilliant, Ben. Thank you so much for the super chat. Pajak for the showdown. Indeed. Stephen Ryder, one of our MXP patrons. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. Pleasure to see you. Hendo Designs. Hey, nice one coming over. Brilliant. Liz Golden. I believe in Pajak. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Did we miss any super chats? Did we get Stephen Somerville's? Yeah, will there be a Redmond doc? Yeah.
Did indeed, yeah.
Mike Brown, thank you very much for the super chat. And we got Tifa at the beginning of that, didn't we, as well?
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone who has super chatted. Just quickly then, isn't it fascinating watching the Premier League, knowing that it's not really any of our concern anymore, looking at like the top 4, Leicester, as per the opposite of your prediction, absolutely catastrophically fucking it up. Wolves all of a sudden keep going strong. Man United are now back. They've got the team back. Ollie's at the wheel. They're all sounding made up, but like the top 4 battles become really interesting all of a sudden.
It always is.
Yeah, but it's not our business.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not been our business a few times, but we're normally like 8th in the league when it's not our business. Yeah. It's now not our business from a pure football enjoyment perspective.
It's just glorious. You're just kind of like, I'm like that, like, oh my god, Leicester getting beat by Everton. Oh no, I like Ancelotti. I think he's a fucking great manager. I think there's a lot of Liverpool fans that really like Carlo Ancelotti.
In fact, we had a question in about Carlo from an Everton fan in the comments, which I'll see if I can dig it up. I'll find his name.
About Carlo. It's something 1878, no doubt.
Yeah, doubtless he's got Everton's. Yeah, there you go. Everton 1878. Yeah, opinion on Don Carlo at Everton.
I think he's brilliant.
Really like him.
He's just a boss manager. He carries himself really well, and he's got that. Funny enough, we were talking to Baz from Toffee TV, or Baz was talking at us before when we were busy, and I actually agreed with him to a point, and that is like, he's not afraid to tell the fans when they're wrong.
Yeah.
he's not asked for just saying it, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's something that Klopp's done with us, where he's called us out for leaving early. You know, and we all look back to that West Brom thing, but we forget what preceded.
Crystal Palace, when everyone left early, and he said, "I've never felt so alone," and everyone went, "Oh, I don't want you to feel alone, Jürgen."
Yeah, but that's where it's all started. That him saluting the cop is after he called the cop out, and they stood there till the end. Yeah. That's the start of it all. He called us out first and foremost on it, and he's done it on things in the past, and he's had to. And Carlo's not afraid to do that, and he's you know what he does, and why I've always liked him as a manager is because he doesn't have a set way of playing football. He's one of those guys who much like me with Football Manager, really poor actually, if we're gonna talk about Football Manager, is you look at your squad and you decide what suits the player. This is bullshit from the Football Manager perspective, by the way. This is a complete fallacy. I'm just making shit up as I'm talking now. He looks at his squad and goes, this is what will be best for them. Like Everton, their fans, everything about them, they want a 4-4-2. They want two lads up front, like, you know what I mean?
But you know what they want,
and Calvert-Lewin, and he's getting the best out of them. But because he's being true to the football club, and he's being true to the players at the football club.
But really, all he's doing, and Liverpool had this with Alisson. So Alisson makes that mistake in his first couple of games against Leicester, and we can see the goal. And Liverpool fans, if that was like Adrian or Karius or any other goalkeeper, would have gone, fucking hell, he's shit. Except we went, actually the best goalkeeper in the world, isn't he? So probably means that even the best in the world make mistakes. Okay, and we made our peace with it. And in Ancelotti, Everton, it means they can kind of unload all their fears and insecurities for a bit, because they'll destroy him, because they will, because it's been too long. Unless he gets success, unless he wins something this season in the next year, I think it will eat at him too much. But they get to park that to one side because they can trust in Ancelotti, because he's literally the best manager they could possibly ever hope to get. And if he can't do it, then no one can. And that means you either have to change your attentions of your aggression towards changing something fundamentally at your footy club. Yep, you go upstairs, or you look inside and say, actually, I need to just shut the fuck up and get behind. And that is an incredibly freeing. Jürgen Klopp did that with Liverpool. It's incredibly freeing to be able to just get on with the business of supporting your football club. Exactly, because you trust that it's being handled the best, maybe the best in the world, but the best that it can be handled. And I said this, and I'm sure it'll all come undone because it's very it's no surprise to me that Everton have come back really well into the season so far, because they've got a boss manager. And look, I thought Man United might have a bit more troubles, and we'll see what happens in the coming games. I don't think they're going to have it quite all the way that they're having it at the minute. But Everton, I don't think they'll get it. They're not going to get it to top 4 or whatever. But it wouldn't shock me if they, all of a sudden, they're in the mix with Arsenal and Spurs. Because Everton, as far as I'm concerned, should be in the mix with the Arsenals and Spurs as this will. Arsenal should, I mean, they've won enough titles that they should be really right up at the top. But in terms of size of football club, there's nothing between Spurs. I think Everton are a bigger club than Spurs, definitely. And Everton should be as big a club as Arsenal, as far as I'm concerned.
The other thing with Ancelotti is, and again, we know this as Liverpool fans, is he Pickford won't be there long. With Ancelotti. No. He will not have time for a goalkeeper who does shit like fucking just let the ball through the runs. Even if they get away with it because of Keane, that has been noted, marked, and he'll be shipped out. Yeah. And that's the best thing that Everton
horse's head in his bed.
Yeah, honestly, that's it. Like, I've had another super chat coming from Matthew Wilson. Seen the amazing BT Sport video after Liverpool won the Premier League.
Yeah, all of them have brought a tear to my eye. BT Sports one, the Sky Sports one. Is the BT Sport one where it's got Klopp's story as well?
I'm not sure which is which.
It's, oh my god, yeah. They're all absolutely fantastic. And yeah, just mentioning the Ancelotti Luke Garbutt stuff was incredible. You're like a big old Italian owl. I don't know who this player is. Sorry, Luke. 11 years of the club, on your way.
It was good the way he owned it though, Luke.
He did, yeah. He owned it. The only way you can do that, like, you've had your pants pulled down by one of the greatest managers of all time. Someone, like Si from Redmond, pointed this out, and I was thinking the same, is that's probably Luke Garbutt is now going to be more famous. It's better for him to be forgotten by Carlo Ancelotti, because at least it gives him something, it gives him an anecdote, not Ancelotti going, yeah, it's some money. And he needs to go and play football or whatever. He's gone, who? And now at least he's got a story. He's got a story that he can tell his grandkids. Carlo Ancelotti didn't know I am. I mean, I've got that story as well, and you have as well. Carlo Ancelotti doesn't know either of us.
Not on tape.
He might do, actually. Eventually, I reckon he'll know us better. Anyway, Right, Chris, thank you so much to everyone.
Wait. There's a little game that someone requested that we've got to play at the end of the show. Live. Once.
Upon.
A.
Time.
There.
Lived.
Luke.
Garbett.
Who?
Sadly.
No, I've just ended it.
What?
Who? Sadly.
I said sadly.
Died.
Live.
On.
YouTube.
During.
A.
Art.
Installation.
Exhibition.
Created.
By.
Carlo.
The.
Italian.
Stallion.
Fucking whatever. Right, okay. Thanks very much for watching the live. If you enjoyed the liveness of it all, let us know in the comments. We'll see. You know, there's talk about. I think we might be taking a bit of a break from the podcast as well. We're getting through the season, but we'll see what we can do in the coming weeks. We did vow that we were going to do season 2 was going to be like 13 episodes max. This is episode 17. We've kind of gone through lockdown, but yeah, we'll have a little chat. But if you want to support what we're doing, do go to patreon.com/Maych Pajak. The guys over there are absolutely amazing. They get access to our Discord group, and we are set to do another live Q&A sort of Discord hangout with those guys as well soon. So if you want to get involved with all that, you can do. The dates for that will be posted on our Twitter at Maych Pajak as well. But yeah, we've got Boss merchandise. If you want some Boss Liverpool merchandise, go to the redmentv.com and click the little shop tab. Oh, that's from the Chapman series. Yeah, we found that bottle. We drank that bottle, didn't we?
We did.
Finally drank that bottle, went to celebrate. Thank you. Drop a like on it if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on podcasting apps, give us a 5-star review. And yes, we'll be back very, very soon. Take it easy, guys.